Well, good afternoon, West Ham fans. Julian Lopetegui has just finished his press conference ahead of the game against the Tricky Trees on Saturday. So let's have a little chat about it, shall we? So, quite an unusual press conference, I'll be honest. Particularly the last 5 minutes were totally in Spanish. As there was a Mexican reporter there talking about Edson Alvarez and stuff, of which we didn't get a translation of what he was saying. So he went on about 5 minutes, this journalist, talking about talking about the question. And then Lopetegui went, he's just asked me about Edson Alvarez. That was lit. It was so funny. But they didn't get the response in English anyway of what he thought about him and in terms of the Premier League and stuff like that. But anyway, regardless of that, let's crack into it. Let's get into team news. In terms of team news, the only thing... Oh, hello, I'm on the wrong side. There we go. I'm back. The only thing is around Nicholas Fullkrug. It was asked about that. We don't have Nicholas. We don't have him available. We don't have a date, but he's working hard, but he's out. That's the only team news we get. Obviously, we know that Mohamed Kudus will also be out, but that is it so far. There is a bit of question mark about Todibo, as he wasn't featured in the sort of montage, behind the scenes training the other day that was released by the club yesterday. But no word about him just yet. Obviously, didn't start for the Man United game, but came on and had a very impressive second half cameo. Asked about the Man United win, and obviously Ten Hag then losing his job, the ninth Premier League casualty under West Ham's hands in our Premier League history. He said of Ten Hag, he's a good coach. I'm sure he'll be doing well in football. Don't think to say about the potential changes. I'm fully focused on Nottingham Forest. He was asked about Ruben Amorim. He was asked about, and he was like, can't talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. He said, well, what about Ruben Amorim? Is it a risk taking? And it was obviously alluding, I think the journalist was quite alluding to the fact that was one of the main concerns about why we didn't go Ruben Amorim, was the fact was he was not, he'd only played at one side, was 39 and a young coach, and didn't mention it, didn't talk about it at all. But obviously we go into the game at Nottingham Forest, potentially, if we win, back-to-back wins, first time this season. Asked about the significance of that. He said it's always important and a big challenge. We have to put the last match in our memories and just focus on this weekend. We are all looking forward to it. There we go. Asked about the Nottingham Forest game and Nottingham Forest in general. It's a tough game for sure. They have a lot of good players. They have a lot of points because they have good players, a good coach, and they are a very good team. We have to be ready because it's going to be a big challenge. The next game is always the hardest in our eyes. That's a good statement. I think Forest are a team that are hard for every team. So Forest are a team who are hard for every team. That could be misconstrued. Asked about the game plan. Obviously, he changed the game at half-time. Changed the team. Obviously, personnel on the pitch, but also the lineup, sort of a slight formation change. Asked about, does he know his best 11? Does he know his starting 11? And he was sort of quite adamant that it's not about starting 11, it's about squad. And he goes, it's important to be able to handle the occasion, but also play the way we want to play. They have lots of threats, the good coach, so we have to be ready. Obviously, being the first game in the Premier League outside of London for us this season. Asked whether he's happy of leaving London. He was like, there are a lot of good teams in London, but are ready to go to Nottingham, to a new city, to play a tough opponent. A tough opponent who have a hard on. He says there's a lot of focus. I did it. No, I didn't. He says each match, I haven't put it on, don't worry. I'll do it later. Each match is different, so you have to do what is best for that match. You'll see for Saturday, but the most important thing is that everybody is ready, apart from obviously Nicholas Fullkrug and Mohamed Kudus. The players on the bench will be key too. There's a lot of focus on the starting 11, but everyone here is important and will play a role. As you all know, as he's used more substitutes, I think, than anyone else in the Premier League. I probably already got that one. Is that this one? There we go. Oh, there we go. Let's see if you want to read it. I get what he means. We have a lot of focus on the starting 11. And that's, and I think for him, And the way I'm starting to see it, the wood for the trees a little bit is there is a reluctance maybe to go out of the traps. It does seem that way. It seems that it's very measured. Um, you've got a situation like, if you watch a lot of La Liga, a lot of European football, very few teams go out of the traps. It's at a tempo, and then it's almost like the first half. It's almost like a boxer. First few rounds, just sizing them up, loosening them all up, and then the second half of the fight, pow. That's what he seems to be doing. Whether I'm just, looking at a magic eye picture and eventually it's made sense, I don't know if I am, but that's to me what he's trying to achieve. And obviously, one play he brought on at halftime and made a massive impact was Crescencio Somerville. Birthday boy. It was his birthday yesterday when we watched West Ham. It's TikTok. I think there's a few TikToks of him with a picture of the goal, and he had to wear a birthday sash and stuff like that. He was asked about Somerville and asked whether Somerville had done enough to warrant a starting a place in the starting lineup. But again, he reiterated the fact that it's part of the squad, not necessarily. The focus should be on my squad. That's what I'm focusing on, rather than necessarily the starting 11. He says, I don't want to talk about individuals or the lineup. So let's see. We're going to try and select the team we think is best to compete against Nottingham Forest. Crescencio is just doing what he's always done here. He plays well and works hard, whether he's playing or not. How can you play hard if you're not playing? I don't get that. But I know what you're all asking. You're all asking, what about the for sure counter? Not a huge number today. Let me 10 for sures. He could have done a lot more in Spanish because there was about 2 or 3 minute section of the 8-minute press conference, which is completely in Spanish. So he could have said for sure lots of times in Spanish, but I don't know what the Spanish is for sure. Actually, let me Google it. Google Translate. That would definitely do it right. I want to know what for sure is in Spanish. Spanish. How do you pronounce it? Con seguridad. He could have said that several times, but I don't know. But 10 for sure. He didn't do as many as he used to do. Does. And also, one thing also it's worth pointing out is at the beginning, before any of the questions were made, he paid tribute to the victims of the South Spain floods at the moment as well. That was the first thing he mentioned, saying thoughts and prayers with anyone who's affected with that. He didn't know anyone personally, but obviously as a Spaniard, it obviously had an impact on him. So, and the same for us. Obviously, we don't know anyone involved in the floods, but obviously, hope everyone is well. I'm sure they're watching this rather than sort themselves out. But yeah, it's never nice when you have those sort of natural disasters happen. And that was it. Not much to go on at all, as per usual. But I do like them because they are quite funny, and hopefully we try and make a bit of a joke out of them. With the whole for sure, and a bit of spat. We try and make fun of it. It is, but anyway, keep an eye on the channel. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Back later, Hammers headlines talking about Edson Alvarez in a bit more detail. But anyway, until then, take care. Much love. Bye.